I know them because the men of whom I speak were at that time my enemies, because they fought against me, because I did them all the harm I could, and they returned it to the best of their ability, because one of them, with whom I had most to do, gave me a pretty sword thrust, now about 7 years ago. The third that I received from the same hand it closed an old account. Ah, said Mazarin, with admirable suavity, could I but find such men! My lord, there has stood for 6 years at your very door a man such as I describe, and during those 6 years he has been unappreciated and unemployed by you. Who is it? It is Monsieur d'Artagnan. That Gascon, cried Mazarin, with well-acted surprise. That Gascon has saved a queen, and made Monsieur de Richelieu confess that in point of talent, address, and political skill, to him he was only a tyro. Really, it is as I have the honour of telling it to your Excellency. Tell me a little about it, my dear Monsieur de Rochefort. That is somewhat difficult. My lord, said Rochefort, with a smile, then he will tell it me himself. I doubt it. My lord, why do you doubt it? Because the secret does not belong to him, because, as I have told you, it has to do with a great queen, and he was alone in achieving an enterprise like that. No, my lord, he had 3 colleagues, 3 brave men, men such as you were wishing for just now, and were these 4 men attached to each other, true in heart, really united, as if they had been one man, as if their 4 hearts had pulsated in one breast. You pique my curiosity. Dear Rochefort, pray tell me the whole story. That is impossible, but I will tell you a true story. My lord, pray do so. I delight in stories, cried the cardinal. Listen, then, returned Rochefort, as he spoke, endeavouring to read in that subtle countenance the cardinal's motive. Once upon a time there lived a queen, a powerful monarch who reigned over one of the greatest kingdoms of the universe, and a minister, and this minister wished much to injure the queen, whom once he had loved too well. Do not try. My lord, you cannot guess who it is. All this happened long before you came into the country where this queen reigned. There came to the court an ambassador so brave, so magnificent, so elegant, that every woman lost her heart to him, and the queen had even the indiscretion to give him certain ornaments so rare that they could never be replaced by any like them. As these ornaments were given by the king, the minister persuaded his majesty to insist upon the queen's appearing in them as part of her jewels at a ball which was soon to take place. There is no occasion to tell you, my lord, that the minister knew for a fact that these ornaments had sailed away with the ambassador, who was far away, beyond seas. This illustrious queen had fallen low as the least of her subjects, fallen from her high estate. Indeed, well, my lord, 4 men resolved to save her. These 4 men were not princes, neither were they dukes, neither were they men in power, they were not even rich. They were 4 honest soldiers, each with a good heart, a good arm, and a sword at the service of those who wanted it. They set out. The minister knew of their departure, and had planted people on the road to prevent them ever reaching their destination. 3 of them were overwhelmed and disabled by numerous assailants. 1 of them alone arrived at the port, having either killed or wounded those who wished to stop him. He crossed the sea and brought back the set of ornaments to the great queen, who was able to wear them on her shoulder on the appointed day, and this very nearly ruined the minister. What do you think of that exploit? My lord, it is magnificent, said Mazarin, thoughtfully. Well, I know of 10 such men. Mazarin made no reply. He reflected. 5 or 6 minutes elapsed. You have nothing more to ask of me, my lord, said Rochefort. Yes, and you say that Monsieur d'Artagnan was one of those 4 men. He led the enterprise. And who were the others? I leave it to Monsieur d'Artagnan to name them. My lord, they were his friends and not mine. He alone would have any influence with them. I do not even know them under their true names. You suspect me. Monsieur de Rochefort, I want him, and you and all to aid me. Begin with me. My lord, for after 5 or 6 years of imprisonment, it is natural to feel some curiosity as to one's destination. You, my dear Monsieur de Rochefort, shall have the post of confidence. You shall go to Vincennes. Where Monsieur de Beaufort is confined, you will guard him well for me. Well, what is the matter? The matter is that you have proposed to me what is impossible, said Rochefort, shaking his head with an air of disappointment. What impossible? And why is it impossible? Because Monsieur de Beaufort is one of my friends, or rather, I am one of his. Have you forgotten, my lord, that it is he who answered for me to the Queen? Since then Monsieur de Beaufort has become an enemy of the state.